All right. Um, Bear with me just a moment here while I get everything set up properly. It's going to take me a second or two. And then I'm going to also send a link out to another brother who wanted to join the show. So just give me a moment to do that. All right. Looks like everything is up and working well. So I do want to start off with saying Shalom. First and foremost, of course, all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, which is the name of the Most High, and Yahweh Shai, which is the name of the only begotten Son, that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. You can see the name of the video, right? Dealing with the downfall of America, all right, which is Mystery Babylon the Great in the scriptures. And also I'm seeing in the chat we got Good Servant in the chat. Which I don't know if he's on right now. But he was there a little earlier. Okay, so let me put a link in the chat for you if you want to join on. That's fine. But hey, I appreciate you dropping by, man. Let's put that in there for you. All right. Then I'll get right into the show. Right. So what brought to mind, may I say, the idea to name the show what I have named it here is I was just watching some news, what's going on right now. And I'm seeing some stuff about this eviction, right? Hey, minor guy, click that link, right? Let's bring you on here, brother. But I was looking about the eviction moratorium, I believe it's called, right? And from my understanding, if they don't come to an agreement over the weekend, then let's see, what day is it? Actually, yeah, tomorrow. Looks like by tomorrow, it's going to be off. And what does that mean? That people are going to have to, um, pay for their rent, and people can't do that right now. Say, look, you know, it doesn't matter what way you try to slice the pie, for lack of better words. You can clearly see that the empire known as America is clearly coming to an end. Let me bring mine to God on. Good sir, if you're here, man, go ahead and click that link because we just want to have a friendly dialogue with you, man. You're welcome on the show anytime, man. Mighty God, how you doing, man?
Hey, TT, what's up, buddy?
Same old, same old. I'm surviving.
That's good. That's good. Good to hear, man. I don't want to interrupt, but I like the topic you picked, man. I was watching some videos on that as well.
Yeah, what was your whole thoughts on that, man? Let's kick the show off with that.
I think it's tomorrow, right, that it expires, and
Yeah,
people are literally waiting for a judge to, potentially overturn that, but they don't have time. It's going to be like in the next, little while. So it looks like it's all systems go. People are ready to, they're allowed to kick them out, and there's like all these cases backlogged in the courts. So the landlords are anxious to get rid of them. So my neighbor actually got evicted, and I live in a apartment in Houston. So they're just handing them out now. People are just squatting, and then now they're getting rid of them.
yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy when you think about it, man, because we're talking about, if you look up the numbers, they say about 40 million households. But again, don't let them trick you. Just as what's that cat? Just like D. McClung says, right? Don't let the mind benders mess with your mind. Don't let them twist your understanding. They're saying 40 million households. However, each household can have a different amount of people living in it. One household might have two people. One household might have one person. One household might have seven people that
Yeah.
are dwelling in it. So in reality, the number of people, not just the households, but the number of people that are going to be affected by this, I would argue and say, oh, it has to be damn near probably 70 or 80 million people.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It's scary because just because you're not, looming in this, you could still be like you lose your job and then it could be a problem. So whatever the number is, it's high for sure that are at risk, even if they're not going to get kicked out tomorrow or whatever or the next day. It's high.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I mean, hey, just off that one certain aspect alone, dealing with, the financial, aspect of it, man, because we spoke about this many times before, but of course it's always good to bring it up again, man. If you just look at, how the people are doing out here, man. I mean, hell, I just had somebody walk past me a while ago, man. Literally wearing damn, clothes with, 20 different holes in it. So it's like if you ask them, well, man, why the hell are you wearing that? It's like, well, I can't afford, to get new clothes, right? So it
Yeah.
just shows you, man,
Dude,
the
I saw the
level of
craziest
poverty.
thing yesterday, man. I saw a dude taking a shower over top of a fountain, like a water fountain, just right in the middle of downtown Houston. Like you just literally taking a shower. And the irony of it, there's a church right next door, like I believe like a Catholic or something church, and like they're not going to help out. The guy was literally taking a shower in the middle of the street. It's crazy, man.
I mean, damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I
crazy.
saw him. I was obviously going to Chipotle, which I make that route pretty regularly. So I was like, oh, I turned around and then walked all the way, to the other side and then walked around. But I mean, dude's
The
naked,
guy,
just in the middle of
he
Houston.
had no clothes on. The
No,
guy
he's
had no
literally
clothes.
taking a shower in the middle of downtown, man. It was crazy. It's not funny, but like think about that. Think about how bad that is, Like a person can't even just there's no place the government sets up for people to just take a shower, you know. How easy would that be for a government to set that up?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Simple.
hell, after all, they have public restrooms, right? So I mean, it doesn't hurt to set up a shower or two inside of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, man. So yeah, that example, man, it clearly just shows, man, that people ain't doing good right now. As we said,
No.
it's getting so bad now where, eventually they're gonna have to, you know, make some type of big change, okay? Because the people are not gonna go along with this much longer, right? The people are pissed off, for lack of better words, with being at the bottom, right? Because now the people are starting to see, people are starting to, wake up, as they say, right? Now people are starting to see the evil behind the system here, right? You have the ones at the top of the society,
Yeah.
living it up, partying every night. We get all of us, can barely, hey, it's pasta for dinner every night of the week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or Chipotle, man. Something. Yeah, I hear you, dude. It's bad, man. It's crazy. The only way this could possibly be fixed is if the rich people started giving us the money that's been printed, but that's never going to happen. So
Yeah, absolutely, man.
that's
And
impossible.
as I like to say, man, hey, look, they're gonna have to, come out with another stimulus soon because I mean, hell, they're gonna have to continue to keep giving the people, $1,000, $2,000 every, so often,
Yeah.
because without that stimulus there, the people are not going to be able to cope with what's going on, and that's crazy. To think that the
Yeah.
government is giving out quote unquote free money, right, to the
Yeah.
population. That's crazy, but they have to do that because if they don't, well, things are going to unravel even quickly than they estimated to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got a good verse, ETT, in line with this. Second Ezra 15:16. For there shall be unrest among the people, growing strong against one another, and they shall in their might have no respect for their king or the chief of their leaders. Second Ezra 15:16.
Yeah, that's a great one, man. That's a great one, and that's what you see going on. That's like, say, for an example, there was something on the news. I want to say a month ago about these the president out there. I'm not sure what country it was, but when he was out walking in the public, somebody actually punched a guy in the face. Right, so it shows that people
Yeah, I saw
are
that. I saw
rising
that.
up. And then there was another thing, which I believe it was the mayor of Georgia. I could be mistaken, but there was a group of men who were going to go and kidnap him from his home, and this was like maybe 5 months ago. But it just shows you, man, that people are starting to turn against their leaders out here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of scary because a lot of people just don't have anything to lose, and that's a scary reality. So I would just recommend people, when you move around, just be careful, where you are and all that, because I'm assuming like crime will increase if it's not already. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, absolutely. And a good servant, as Mind of God said, if you're watching, click that link, man. We'll be nice with you. We just want to have a friendly dialogue with you. But hey, I appreciate that you showed up. I'll read his comments, Mind of God, because you might not have saw them. He
yeah.
said, "I'm here, ready to chat." It's like, okay, say, hey, man, there's a link down there. Click that, and let's come on and let's talk, man. We'll be nice with you, right? We're not going to be mean. Anyway, man, I'll throw the mic back to you.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, dude. I think everybody sort of sees it. I think the only thing is like, how is it going to go down and when? So your title of this hangout is appropriate. It's just how and
Right,
when.
right.
That's it.
Yeah,
We
yeah, and
don't.
that's all we don't know is like, do you have a saying out there? Let me see if I can quote it. But while I'm doing that, did you look into that book I showed you before? It's called the Lost Prophecies of the Future of America by Michael Snyder.
No, I did not.
Hey man, go ahead and pick yourself up a copy. You can get that on Amazon. I have the book. I read it in
Okay.
like 2 days. Basically, what it's about is it's a whole compilation
Hmm.
of dreams that people have had, and we're talking maybe 50 years up to the present, of the timeline of it, and it's all dreams that people had regarding, either the destruction of America or bad times in America. I think you'll really like that book, man. You want
I'll
to
write
check
it
that
down.
out.
I'll make an email to myself. What was the title again? Sorry, man.
It's called the Lost Prophecies of the Future of America by Michael Snyder.
Nice. Okay, cool. I got a reply from our friend Eric Dubay. Want me to read that?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and get that.
I was like, dude, man, I was kind of sad because he didn't have time. But this is what he wrote, and then I asked him a question back. So he's like, "Hey, Shrek, thanks for the message. Glad to hear you're researching the most important subject. I'm afraid I'm overloaded with projects and not looking to take on anything new, but I appreciate the offer. Peace, Eric." And then I replied, "Quick question: these recent, more frequent UFO sightings, what is your take on these? Part of the government agenda or spiritual?" So I'm curious to see what his opinion is on these so-called UFOs, which you and I know what they are, but not everyone
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was a great, hey man, that was a great question for you to ask him. I really do want to see his whole response on that.
yeah. I'll forward it to
Um,
you when he does.
now, yeah, that sounds cool, man. But anyway, my response to that would be, yeah, I understand, that he don't got time because those guys have, what, 10,000 comments to respond to,
Right,
and
right, right.
yeah, yes, that's totally respectable. No, no hard feelings. But yeah, I really want to see his response to that question. I think that'd be interesting.
I wonder. I think it's becoming harder and harder. You probably subscribe to the UFO Institute. It's like there's so many sightings now. Like, and those are just the ones that people upload to that channel. There's I don't know how many there are every day. There's probably like thousands, or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
So
I know who you're talking about, the UFO Institute. He commented on one of my videos a while back, the video where I had. Did you see that one where I showed the UFO behind me? He commented on that.
oh, nice. Okay, that's cool. That he's active. Then he's trying to find all them. I just assume
Yeah,
people submit them to him and he just mirrors them, kind of thing. But that
right. I'm
channel's
sure some
great, man.
people
That channel's great,
send
dude.
them in.
There's a lot of them that are like, I mean, you can't just say they're drones anymore. Really, like people are like, oh, those are airplanes landing. Um, Not really. Like that's not the way airplanes land. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, man. As I said, at one time before, if somebody was to say they saw something unexplained in the sky, they would just be, ignored. But now in the modern days, since everyone has a camera, right? So they can record. Everyone has a phone. So
Yeah.
now you can record when you see these things, right? So now we're at a point where they can't just dismiss these things. At one point in time, they could do that and say, "Oh, that guy's just crazy." But now there's so much video evidence to support the authenticity, to throw $1 million
Right.
word out there,
Right.
of these statements, that it cannot just be brushed under the rug. Because you got cats out there, man, who will sit there and tell you that, oh yeah, all that stuff, all that UFO footage, all of that is fake, right? All of that isn't real. It's like hell. I mean, first of all, I myself captured a UFO on video, right, more than once. Oh, but
Yeah.
I faked it though. I faked that, right?
Yeah. What incentive would the people who are recording it have to, and you can hear them, they don't know what it is, like what incentive do they have to upload that, to YouTube and stuff? It doesn't make sense. Like, if it's coming from the government, then we'd be skeptical. Like, oh, okay, it's coming from CNN or Fox News, and I'll be like, maybe. But it's just everyday average people, and like people have seen them themselves. So for
Right,
years
right,
now.
absolutely. And it's like, what does the average person gain from just making a YouTube video that might get a couple hundred views? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
Exactly.
it's like some of
Exactly.
these. Now, I'll say this: there could be a handful of them here or there that are staged and fake. That is true. However, you can't just come out and say like the same thing with the ghost videos, right? But we can talk about that. But the same thing with that. Like I know people that say, "Oh yeah, well all of that's like all of that's fake. There's no such thing." Also, so all of it is fake. I agree that maybe 60 or 70% might be staged, but then you have another 30 or 40% that obviously is real. You
Yeah.
can't just sit there and say all of it's fake. That's clearly just ridiculous to make that statement. What are your thoughts on that?
And let's say it is fake ETT, we'd have to ask, why are they faking it? Like, what's the government trying to do? That would also be like strange. Like, what would be the purpose of that? So
Right, right,
I don't know.
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just even it's like they got bored of deceiving us here on Earth, so they just go and deceive us up in the sky too. Like, they're just bored. I don't know. To me, like,
Yeah, and
the narrative
another
falls apart unless the Bible's involved. For me personally. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, sorry to cut you off, man. But yeah, what they're trying to do, and you got this with a lot of these religious, YouTubers on there, and I know them because I've watched their stuff. But they teach that there's gonna be some type of like somebody who came on our show a few I want to say a week ago, and they commented and said, there's gonna be a UFO alien deception, right? That's
Hmm.
what they want people to believe, is these UFOs are, aliens from Mars, but actually it's, Satan and his angels that are gonna come and be the false saviors of mankind. What is your whole thoughts on
This sounds really weird, and I'm not trying to say this to discourage people's faith, but I just want to see something like that, dude. That would just look cool to me. Like, this is not like biblical, but I don't know, dude. I just want to see it, man. Even if I'm not taken away, I want to see that, dude. If the elect get taken away, that's great, man. Like, they deserve it. So I just want to see that, whatever it is. So, but no, I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, the evil spirits are here on Earth. So where else could they be except here,
Right,
walking
right.
walking around? But
Yeah, yeah, they're down here with us, just like, when we went to, what is that, Matthew, the fourth chapter, when Satan went to Yahushua, he was down here cruising around the earth. And that's also which we always bring the scriptures up. But when you go to Job, the second chapter,
I'll get that
Satan
one.
said what? That he was walking around, on earth, right? Going around doing whatever he do.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let me read that one. And this is actually very, very important for people to understand this, so they're not deceived. um, Job 1:7, and the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. So he's here. Okay.
Right, right. And just like these demonic, spirits, right? The spirits on the Lord's, left hand side, right? They're very real, right? These creatures are very real, and they are, here with us. You know what I'm saying? People be
Yeah.
out there like, oh, that's all made up. And you even have people who even subscribe to the scriptures who will say there's no such thing as, demons or any of that.
Dude, you know those guys from freaking, not to keep throwing them under the bus, but Good Samaritan? That guy, I used to watch all of his videos. I liked the way he brought it out. It was just him and two other guys. Then all of a sudden he started getting into like America, Mystery Babylon is the Vatican. Then he started talking about freaking Project Bluebeam. And I'm like, dude, these guys have gone, they're lost, man. Like, I was very disappointed. I'm like, really, dude? Talking about
Yeah,
all that stuff.
I know who you're talking about. I did watch them at one point, but then what happened, they go off it and start to say some BS. So then, you
Right.
have to start to, distance yourself from certain people. It's like, hey, if somebody's on there saying something so outrageous, such as, for example, if you have somebody saying that we're living in Christ's kingdom today, well, then I can't go with that. I'm gonna have to unsubscribe, and go my own way. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, exactly. There are certain truths that are self-evident at this point, you know. I hate to break it to people, but if you don't believe America's Mystery Babylon, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're a Satanist. I mean, I don't know like how obvious. Like, it's obvious, dude. I would be more forgiving of people with the ball Earth actually, because that's kind of like, we don't have a test. We don't know for sure. But if you read the Bible just in general, America has to be Mystery Babylon just because of the practices of the government, and they're obvious, like in the mainstream information. So, you know,
Right. And I wanted to bring something up because the other day, which I was trying to go live yesterday, but of course somebody didn't pay the data, so I couldn't go live.
yeah, I saw
Anyway,
that, man. We were waiting for you, man.
yeah, I came out to go live, but of course I found out the data wasn't paid, so I used that to go when I go places. That's what I use to record is my mobile data, but we got
Gotcha.
to pay like $100 a month for. So, my bad, but hey, it is what it is. Anyway, I was reading a story that took place a few days ago, and to sum it all up, what happened was I believe this is over in India, um, or somewhere where they still practice the ancient customs, right? Women over there, they would have to wear a certain attire, right? They
Yeah.
couldn't wear jeans or any of that. So there's this one story where this girl was, she wanted to put jeans on, so her family told her not to do it because that's her tradition. But she ended up doing it. So what happened was she ended up getting hung because of that. But you
Wow.
see, the point that I'm bringing this up is this shows what? This is the philosophy of America being pushed upon all these other nations, right? All these other nations are now leaving their customs and their ways of life so they can follow after that American custom. That's why over in Saudi Arabia, right, women over there, they have to be covered up, right? They can't, it's a shame for them to reveal their bodies to a man, who is not their husband, right? So they
Right.
have to be covered up. Same thing with Muslims, right? So when they come here to America, those women don't have to abide by that. They can walk around with damn near nothing on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just
Yeah.
one example. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you, man. And they've set the whole Earth out of course with that. Yep.
Right. And it's funny because you got guys out there saying that the Catholic Church is Mystery Babylon, and one of the proofs is that they say that says that she goes throughout the earth and deceives people by her philosophy. So they say that's the Catholic Church going around the earth and spreading the Catholicism is what they say.
Jeez. The thing is like the deceptions are so big, we have to look for the most influential person or place, so that's why people, that's like small pickings, it's like even talking about masonry. I'm not saying masons aren't deceptive, but it's a little, it's not that big, like it's not that big of a deal. So but America, I mean, they print the money first and foremost. That gives you, I mean, if you're the banker in Monopoly, you control everything. You know what I mean? You can't do anything if you print the money. So that right away gives us a clue as to who has the most amount of power to influence evil. And that's just one of the things: Hollywood and the music, everything. No one's freaking playing music that God hates for coming out of the Vatican or something, because that's in Revelation. God hates the music
I
that comes
mean,
out of America.
hell, if you do the research right, the Vatican City is from my understanding, I believe it's a mile long, right? It's the smallest country, right? As Larkin Rose would say, the crunchy. It's the smallest country in the world, right?
Yeah.
But that's Babylon, right? Hey, look, I never heard anybody tell me they want to take a vacation to the Vatican City. However, I have had people contact me online saying, "Hey, man, I'm over here in Africa. Can you help me sneak into America?" And
Right.
I'm not even being sarcastic. I'm being dead serious. Somebody contact me from Africa. It was like, "Hey, man, can you help me come up with a plan to sneak over to America, man?" I was like, "Oh, what the hell?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll get Revelation 18:22 in line with this. And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and of trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. That verse right alone points it to America, because we're the headquarters of all the music, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. And so what's the Vatican producing? Do they have like warehouses and stuff. Like, what does that even mean? Like, it doesn't make sense at all.
Right. And also, back in 2017, which was like what, 4 years ago or so, I was looking at the statistics regarding the imports, right? And if you just look up, America's imports, which is the stuff that's imported from other countries into America and is sold there, it's
Yeah.
basically, from my understanding, it's like 2.21 trillion or something like that. But the last time I looked at the Vatican's, their imports, right? The other countries that import their goods into the Vatican, and what it equates to is about $30 million. I mean, hell, you have people in America who literally have more money in their bank account than what the Vatican makes in a year, dealing with
Right. Right.
imports. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly. And
But
verse
that's that.
23
That's
says,
mystery Babylon
yeah, and
inside
verse
Jerusalem.
23 says, "For thy merchants were the great men of the earth." So who else is that? It could either. This is why the point you made about China is the only other valid option. But China doesn't fit all these other prophecies about Egypt and, you know, I mean, all the other stuff, but that's the only option, really, like where the most billionaires are on earth. You could pick one of those two places. And for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And that word sorceries, I believe, is pharmakia, pharmacy. So,
Right, right, and that goes back to the story that I was given a minute ago about the woman who got killed, right, got hung because she didn't want to go along with her customs, right? She wanted to get that woman's liberation. And that's
yeah,
what America brings, right? Is a false philosophy unto the people. So when it speaks about the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk by her fornication, that's not talking about people being made into Catholics. That's not what that's talking about. That's talking about America going around the earth and spreading its, for an example, democracy, right? And all these other
yeah,
false teachings such as women's rights, right? Children's rights. Those things didn't exist, 200 years ago. America came up with those customs. And that's why the other nations went with it, because they want to compare themselves like to America, right? And that's why when you go to Revelation 17, verse 18, it says what? And that woman that you saw is that great city that
right.
reigns over the kings of the earth, right? And America does reign over the earth because America is the backbone of the world. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think you would agree with me when I say this, that women and kids have rights, but it's according to the Bible. It's not according
Right,
to
right.
whatever Biden came up with or whatever, which now has put this world out of order because, like, kids are making adult decisions and then adults are acting like kids. So it's all messed up, everywhere. So
Right, right, absolutely.
that's a
And
problem.
that's just what it is, right? That's what it is this place has just done too much, man. All right. And hey, the Lord's done, right? The Lord, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, is now beginning to take this place out. And you can see it, right?
Yeah.
Hey, there's surgical strikes going on. Everything that we're seeing right now, this is all a surgical strike, what the Lord is bringing upon America right now. And I remember, man, with this whole thing, this thing when it first started,
Yeah.
you know, um, they were talking about, well, let's pray to Jesus so that, maybe next week all of this will go away. And hell, well, look, we're almost 2 years into this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He didn't hear that prayer. That's for sure.
Hey, the scriptures say that the Lord doesn't hear the prayers of the wicked.
No,
Right. So
definitely not.
these church people ain't know what the hell's going on. Right.
Yeah,
Sitting
I
there,
think you would agree with me on this. We have to pray now every day for this place to be destroyed by nuclear fire. We're allowed to pray for
right.
that now. We're in the we. You could always pray for that without a doubt, but
Yeah.
it's not a mystery anymore. What Mystery Babylon is, it's not. You know, that's
Right.
scary
Right.
for
It's
me
all
because both of us live in America, so it's not like we're getting a pass. But we should be praying for that every day at this point, maybe twice a day.
right. Right. And that's what we're trying to do. Right. We're out here to tell the people that this place is clearly on its decline, and you can see it. Right. You can see it. Right. And hey, look, we're the prophets of doom. Right. We're the ones who are here telling the facts. Right. We're telling the truth. The way it is. Okay. So we're out here telling all the people that this is how it's all gonna go down. Say,
Yeah.
hey, it's either you get with the program, or hey, your ass is gonna be run through, and that's what is that? Isaiah the 13th chapter says what? All who are joined unto them, they shall fall by the sword.
Right,
I'll throw it
right.
back to you.
Yeah, and I'm looking up the definition of pharmakia for this for those people who understand that word sorcery. The use of administering. Um, I won't use the word, but it rhymes with hugs. Okay, poisoning, sorcery, magical arts, often found in connection with idolatry, the deceptions and seductions of idolatry. So think of who else is that, man? Come on, dude.
Hey, man, I gotta jump in real quick, man.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here in the damn car, and you got this coon that's, oh Christ, this person's trying to back up on the opposite side of the highway, and a cruiser just pulled up to the right of me here, man. Say, hey, there's some action going on over here. Says, damn. Well, it's like, what the hell is this person doing? You're in the middle of a damn highway, but you're turning around in the middle of the street to try to turn around.
That's sick,
Oh
dude.
man. Yeah, the guy just
People are
put it on
lost,
his.
dude. They're lost in the
Yeah,
sauce, dude.
the cop just put his lights on, so he's gonna go give her a ticket or something now. It's like, but
Maybe it's
goddamn, it
Tahar,
just
dude.
shows how
Check
stupid.
check who's in there. Maybe it's one of the elders. I don't know. We'll see.
Anyway, hey, two letter J, man, how you doing? We got you in here.
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Does it sound good, man? It's a different mic.
We can hear it.
Is
Yeah,
it
it's not
bad?
bad. It's not bad. It's a
Okay.
little raspy, but it's okay.
All right. How's it going?
Good.
I'm surviving. How are you?
Hold on, let me try to fix this. Hello?
All right, yeah, we hear you, man.
Does it sound bad? If not, I can switch out.
No, it's
I
fine.
mean, it's fine on my end.
Okay, cool. So, what's going on?
And we're just, in here talking, man. What's going on with you?
Uh, Doing good. Some personal stuff been going on, but apart from that, fine.
Yeah, that's all cool, man. That's all cool. Anything you want to bring to the table?
Actually, yeah, there's a reason why I got on right now. I heard you talking about pharmakia, the Greek word.
Yes.
So it means sorcery. I heard you reading the definition. I was gonna get on to tell you all that, but I seen you're already doing it, so kudos.
But that's
But
important, man, because
yeah,
that we're trying to identify Mystery Babylon, and then we're kind of
yeah,
doing
yeah.
it by process of elimination
I
as well.
logged in and heard that. I thought I would hop on to put my 2 cents into that.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
think?
go ahead. Hey, go ahead, man. Go ahead and give us your faults.
Well, no, he already said the definition to it. That's basically why I got on. But if anybody wants to actually, I got a video. If anybody actually wants to check it out on pharmakia and the psychedelic word that I'm not gonna say on here, DUR, But I have a video if you guys want to check it out.
I'll watch it. Yeah, it's on your channel.
Yeah, the one with the 13,000. It should be on there.
Okay.
All right, yeah. We'll try to give that a watch, man.
All right, cool. I appreciate it.
So the other way that they use this in Galatians is witchcraft. So it's like that's the way the Bible views what we were just talking about as basically witchcraft, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
isn't there one that's in what is it, Nahum the third chapter? Mighty God, you know that one?
It could be. Let me see if I
Yeah,
can
I
find that.
believe it goes into that. Could be mistaken though.
That's amazing, man. I mean, these things are just clear as day. I don't know, man.
But yeah,
Wild.
you got those simps on there, ITR, which I tried to go on the radio show once before. They're on there saying that, oh no, Babylon the Great is the Vatican City.
Man, I used to go on those like early. I wish I had those, man. Like I was in there pushing the flat Earth even during those days, and then the host would be like, "Yeah, we can talk about it," but it was like they didn't want to talk about it. So I already knew something weird was going on from the beginning with that group. But
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of sad that they would branch off and change those doctrines, which are obvious, like this one.
Right. Just like another thing that's obvious, going back to the title of the video, it's just obvious, that right now we're at the end of this empire here, right? So we're clearly at the end of this thing, and you can see it, right? The empire, America, is clearly on its way out, right? And anybody that can't see that just doesn't know what the hell they're talking about.
I found that verse in Nahum, ETT. Because of the multitude of the
Go ahead.
whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredom. Like, look at the way God is describing this place. You think God is not excited about doing this? That selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. Wow. That's Nahum 3:4, by the way. 3:4 444 FFF 666 for numerology people.
Right,
So,
right. And that, we were talking about the whoredoms, which is what the philosophy, that America has on here, right? Say, hey, look, the Lord gave America a time to
right.
rule on the earth, just like with the empires that came before. He gave them a time to rule. But now, just like when you go to what is that, Second Ezra 9th chapter, right now we're in the time where the highest is now beginning to visit the world, right? So why is the Lord visiting the world? Because the time that he has given the empires of the earth to rule, their time is now coming to an end.
Right. This verse also supports what you said earlier about the family structure being destroyed and families through her witchcrafts in Nahum 3:4. So America has successfully destroyed the family structure, not just here, but worldwide. So
Yeah,
God's
absolutely,
he's
man.
got to pay for that.
Hey, two-letter, anything you want to throw in, man? Yeah, we might have lost him. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm still waiting for what's that cat? For Good Servant to join in. He's probably watching right now. As
Yeah,
I
dude.
said, Good Servant, click that link,
Shoot
man.
through. We're not on any stuff, man. We're not trying to start beef, or we don't want clicks or views or none of that, dude. It's friendly, man. These truths are obvious. We're not getting any money from this or anything like that. So
Yeah, we're just trying to have a friendly chat. That's all.
I don't know, man. It's what a time to be alive, Wow. It's amazing.
Right, absolutely, man.
So I don't know, man. You probably see all the stuff going on in the news, right, ETT, with this stuff being the thing.
Yeah.
Being,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, okay. So you see that. So I don't know, man.
Right. But just go ahead.
No, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, man. Going into that subject, which of course we'll use code word, but yeah, man, it just shows you that we're coming into a time right now where every single one of us, we're all going to have to make decisions, right? We're all going to have to make a tough decision, right? That our life is really going to depend on, right? And
Yeah.
hey, look, like you got these cats out there, man, which I know some of them, right? You got pastors that I know that say what people have been saying for hundreds of years, that Christ was going to return in their generation, and it never happened. So what makes it different today? So
Yeah.
my response to that would be, well, wait a second. Even though it is true that people have been saying that, right, since Christ came on the scene 2,000 years ago, people have been saying that. But the thing that makes their time different with us is we're seeing that all the things that Christ told us to look out for. And it's not, like, well, this year will be a rumor of a war. The next year there might be a famine across the plains somewhere, and then 5 years later something else will happen. No, we're seeing it literally all those things happening literally in every single hour around the world. Right. So that gives us credence, for lack of better words, to show us that we are in those times. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. 100%, man. I mean, it's basically now or never. That's what I think is exciting about the Bible and with what's going on in the world. And yeah, it's pretty much now or never that the Bible is going to express its truth. So like the next generation, or even I would even say 5 years from now, it'd be hard to fit what's going on in the world with Bible prophecy if this just goes on, like what we're seeing with this narrative. So yeah, I hear you, man.
Right. So going back to what we're saying, hey, look, man, this truly has to be it. And we're sounding like broken records by the amount of time we bring that up. But hey, just it has to be true, right? This has to be coming to an end, right? The end of this thing has to be upon us here. Hey, look, I can't see this place going on for another 2 years. It's people are doing too bad out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those at the top of the world, they're doing okay, but the average man, I mean, hell, just like my situation, have to eat damn pasta every other night of the week. You know what I'm saying? So it just shows you, that this place is just done, man. This place is done on literally every single, level. And that's why you see all of these homeless
Right.
encampments that
Exactly.
are popping up left and right. I'll throw the mic back to you.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't understand. It's almost like I don't understand why people wouldn't want God to lead us. That's what I think is scary about the world. Like, especially the religious people. It's like, why would you not want God to be here and run this place? Like, what's he gonna do? Like, give us disgusting food, or like, what's he gonna do? Like that, I don't understand. Like, well, we don't dictate it. It's not up to us. Ultimately, only the Most High knows, according to the Bible. But why would you not want that? Certainly, with the times
You
that
know
we live in
what's
now.
Mind of God, you might get a kick out of this, man. But the
Yeah.
other day when I was going past one of the local churches, they had, the sign they have outside where they put their little messages on.
Yeah.
Um, I was looking at it, and it said on the sign, it said, "What? God bless America and God bless our servicemen and women." Well, what are your thoughts
Ooh.
on
Ooh. What's I feel bad for them, actually, because this thing is going to be forced on them, and I do believe some of them are sincere. Like, maybe not all of them are completely, evil, but a majority of them are, for sure, because they're implementing evil decrees, from the court of, the government here. So that blessing is going to be a different kind of blessing that people are not going to expect.
Hey,
How?
mind of God, if you can look this up for me, I'm
Yeah.
not sure the verse off the top of the head, but there's a verse that says, "If the ruler is wicked, so are all his servants." Right. So that goes into what we're talking about here. And look, if the
Right.
governor is corrupt with his ways, if you're there enforcing his ways, well, then you're corrupt as well. And this goes into the whole Romans 13 thing dealing with the government. It's like, well, wait a second. How could he be the minister of God if his ways are perverse and against the ways of the Most High? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Proverbs 29:12. If a ruler hearkens to lies, all his servants are wicked.
Right.
So
So,
yeah, you're right.
these yeah, I'll throw the mic to you in a second, man. But yeah,
Mhm.
going over that verse that Mind of God just read, it shows us what? That these people who are in these, positions where they're, carrying out these orders from the ones above them, they're all wicked. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that they're going around trying to deliberately
Right.
do things which are wrong. No, that's not at all true. But since they're going along with it, that makes them a collaborator. I'll throw it back to Mind of God.
Yeah, I agree. They're all in on it, kind of thing. It's like, I think the interesting thing about the times we live in now, with the internet and YouTube, it's God's not going to be very friendly with people who plead ignorance, because the information's out there. There's so much information on YouTube. It's not all true, but there's so much information out there. You'd have to live in a cave to not know that. Like, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, if you don't know that America is evil, you don't necessarily even have to believe that it's Mystery Babylon. But if you don't believe that it's evil or understand that, then I don't know. Like, I mean, what do we tell you at that point? So that's like,
Right, right. And, you know, as I said, we're living in the information age. That's why, hey, look, me and Mind of God and, two letter J, we're all on here talking together, but yet we literally live, thousands of miles, away from each other, or at least 1,000 miles away. So, it just goes to show you, just like also any topic of discussion that you want to learn, you can just type that into the internet and you can read about it, or you could listen to a video about the subject you want to learn about, right? So we're in a time where, it's being ignorant to these things is just not acceptable, in this time.
agreed. That's not going to work, man, for anybody. So we're lucky, man. I don't. That's a nice thing, man. Like, we're the lucky ones, because this is obvious. So I'm just thankful that this quote unquote religion, obviously, it's more than that. It's like a heritage. It's the laws, and obviously Christ's sacrifice. But like, it's actually kind of nice, because it's basically, we have this to choose from, or the government, and the government narrative is absurd. So I don't know. It's kind of amazing, you know. And obviously these
Right,
truths
right,
are powerful, but the choice is kind of made for us because it's so obvious. But
right. And while you got all these simps out here and just going along with the guidelines, man. And matter of fact, Larkin Rose did a video, which they took it down, but he was sitting there saying, it's like, are you cats out there really not intelligent enough to figure out that if they're willing to give you benefits to take this thing, that obviously there has to be some type of agenda that they're trying to push if they're willing to pay you
Right. Exactly.
to take this. You know what I'm saying?
And it's our own money. It's like one thing if it was their money, but it's our money that they're paying us. It's so backwards, man. It's so bad, dude. Stupid.
Yeah, man. As I said, it's unbelievable, man. But the church will go along with this. That's why these churches, and we've seen it, right? You can't, go to the church without, just like with this whole thing when it first started. The churches that make you go with your, face diaper on, as Miley God says,
Yeah.
and they'll make you, sit, 6 feet apart, and that's what it is. They're just going along with the doctrine that men put out there, and that's in the scripture. I believe that's Matthew. I believe it's Matthew the 5th chapter. It says what? That these they honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. In
Right.
vain they worship me,
Right.
teaching what? The doctrines and the commandments of men. And that's what Christianity is all about. I'll throw the mic back to you.
And those masks are actually prophesied in Job 9:24. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Hey, I got to respond to a comment real quick, man. So you can take the mic for a minute, all
No,
right?
that's cool. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is, again, it's amazing, man. I have to pinch myself sometimes because we're living in something that was written of thousands of years ago, and not just a couple thousand. Some of these prophecies are like even older than that. So did they make a lucky guess? I think that'd be hard
Just
to go with at this point.
Right. I'll give an example. Just like when you deal with say for example, Isaiah the 13th chapter, or Jeremiah the 50th chapter, right? Isaiah the 47th chapter. These are all various scriptures that were prophesying about America. But these were written, 3,000 years ago, because the Old Testament came a while before the New Testament, right? So,
Right.
we have it, in the New Testament and the Old Testament prophecies referring to America, right? So it's like, how the hell did these men who didn't know about each other, right, lived at different time periods in history, all write about the same thing and somehow get it to match up with each other? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. I mean, that's a conspiracy of all conspiracies, man, because they're like, some of them are 1,000 years apart, some of them are in different parts of Earth, they're obviously relatively confined to the Middle East or whatever, but I mean, really, at this point, and then we see the thing going out and all that. I mean, that's, you'd have to be a conspiracy theorist to not believe the Bible at this point.
Right. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And another thing as well, when you deal with the prophecies in the Old Testament, right? I mean, hell, Christ was prophesied to come in the Old Testament, and that's in Isaiah the 53rd chapter, and Isaiah the 9th chapter, right? Speaks about Christ coming. And also, which I don't know the verse off the top of the head, but in the Apocrypha, the angel told, or I should say Yahweh told Ezra, right, the prophet Ezra, that within 400 years, because Ezra is written 400 years before Christ,
Yeah.
it says what? That in 400 years, my son Jesus, right, or Yahweh Shai, will come, and then he's going to be crucified for the sins of Israel, right? So those are prophecies that predict the coming of Christ, thousands or hundreds of years before it happened. But hey, then look, it did happen, right? So that gives the authenticity to the validness of the text.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, other religions, support that in the very least Christ walked on earth, and then Islam even references the Israelites in the Quran. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, for all of us, we don't really. There's not much left to doubt at this point. So either this is it or this is not it. So that's shout out Ronnie, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, man. Which, as I said, man, going back to that whole video, man, what did you see about that? When did you learn about it?
Which one?
When did you see about the Rooney McNutt situation?
No,
did
you
watch
told me
a video
that, man. I would never have found out about that without you, man. I would never. I wouldn't even have known to like search for that or something, man. Like that wouldn't cross my plate, so to speak.
Right. But yeah, man, hey, going back, to his words, he was like, "Hey guys, this is it, right? This is this, right? So we got to use his word. I mean, hell, Sakara should put that on a damn shirt, right? This
Yeah,
is it.
exactly.
You know
Ken
what I'm
Hovind's
saying?
talking about this is it, so he's getting the word out. So shout out Ken
Yeah,
Hovind.
yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, hey, look, the truth at the end of the day is a look. The empire known as America is clearly coming to an end, and anyone out there who doesn't agree, it's like, okay, well, you don't know what the hell you're talking about if you don't agree. Seriously.
Exactly. At this point, it could not be more obvious, dude. If people are still pushing like, oh no, Babylon's going to be in the Middle East, and then an Antichrist is going to pop up in the Middle East and reinstitute the temple sacrifice, I mean, you're out of your mind, dude. At this point, come on.
Right, absolutely.
What
I
temple?
agree.
First of all, what temple are they going to reinstitute? What sacrifice? You know what I mean? That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, what we see going on around us. But hey, this is, a test that we all have to be presented with. And I saw, all GMS guys that were on there talking about, that, hey, look, this is the hour of temptation where we're all going to be tried, which I agree with those brothers. But I agree. We're coming into some times now where, even those who don't subscribe to the text, you know, they just don't want to go along with, something that's, we'll say unhealthy, for lack of better words.
Yeah.
You know, they're, they're even going to have to make some tough decisions, and they're not doing it because they want to go by the scriptures, but they're doing it, because they decide not to. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not sure. Are you talking about this narrative that's going on now, or something else?
Yeah, this thing, which, of course I have to use code words, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's difficult, man, because even in dating, I'm noticing like girls are putting that, on their profile. So if you're single, you're in trouble because you pretty much need that, or else they're gonna ask, and like you can't go out anywhere. And then if you're married, a lot of women are in on this. We know that, so they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, you could just take it. It's not a big deal." Like Job's wife, exactly like Job's wife.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
man, as I said, hey, look, the truth is, which all of us, of course, would rather, be with a woman, some of us. But, in the time that we're in right now, it's more beneficial, to be on our own, so to
oh,
speak, if
100%,
we can.
100%. Yeah, exactly. Because it's that influence will likely not be righteous. Like 99.9% chance, it's not going to be a righteous um, advice you're getting from a woman. There are righteous women out there for sure, no doubt, but
Right.
not many.
But yeah, man, hey, look, all you can say, man, is, hey, look, this place can't have much longer left, man. Because I mean, this is just, it's unbelievable, how much this place has declined, in like 2 years, about now. I mean,
Yeah,
hell, man, it's just unbelievable, the stuff that we got going on around us right
it's limping with a ligma, as I've heard somebody say.
now. Yeah, man.
dude,
It's
dude, T-Mog's
Go
running out
ahead.
of time. T-Mog's barking. This guy, Mind of God, on his channel, keeps talking about this 1,260 days, right? I don't know if you're familiar with this guy's channel. This dude's running out of time. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hell, as I said, ETT, hey, he's running out of time, right? ETT is running out of time on his statements regarding the future, right?
Right.
ETT is running out of time. So hey, we just gotta hope the tide tips in our favor. Inside joke.
The hourglass is getting slim right now, folks. So I don't
Right.
know, man. But it's a good position to be in. I'm not complaining at all. I mean, I don't know. Would I not want to live in this period? Yeah, probably, because it's like really weird. But also, we have to look at it on the flip side. This is whatever God does is going to be huge because the world is completely against God. So God could literally dip one toe in this place and it would just melt the whole thing. So whatever happens is going to be amazing. So
Right, and that's just a trial, we're facing right now. We just gotta, remain, faithful to the text, right? When the whole world is walking in one direction, what we're gonna say, no, we're gonna go in the opposite direction. And the scripture, we all know the scriptures. The scriptures say what? Follow not a multitude to do evil. I believe
Right.
that's, what is it? Exodus, the 23rd chapter, I believe. Right. So we're not following the multitudes, of people. And I know certain people, man, who are, Christians, but they're on there at home watching, these uh let's see, what could I use? These rainbowed, promoting, documentaries and
Right.
stuff, right?
Right.
These drag queen, events. They're out there saying, "Oh yeah, Jesus loves all these," and their fathers is a pastor. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it just shows you, man, the level, the mentality that these people are in now.
Yeah. Exodus 23:2. You shall not fall in with the many to do evil. I'm reading in the ESV just for the viewers. Nor shall you bear witness in a lawsuit siding with the many so as to pervert justice. So God's basically like, if you go with the multitude, you're wrong all the time from the beginning. So definitely not now.
Right, and you had somebody on there who he was saying that, well, you see, you guys are wrong because the Bible says that God, always follows the multitude of people, right? The masses of people, whatever the masses of people
Who said that?
subscribe to, that belief. You have this one cat on there called Royals S, which I know the
Oh,
guy. He's on one
jeez.
of our chat rooms, but he teaches, well, you see, God deals with the multitude of people. So whatever the multitude of people, what the vast majority of people believe, that is true. That's what he was saying.
Wow. That's kind of like that girl that I did that commentary on, like, oh no, he won't do that to us, the wax, the ear wax, you'll be fine. Oh, really? Oh my gosh. You guys are finished, dude. Matthew 24:14. For many are called, but few are chosen. That's in 22:14. If you add that together, that's 36,666. So
And then you got all these other cats on there. If you watch these rapture videos, they're on there talking about, well, you see, when the rapture happens, you're gonna see people, disappear, left and right. You're gonna have a room of, 100 people, and you might have 80 of those people, disappear. You know what I'm saying? You ever saw those videos
yeah,
before?
right. It's not going to be that many people. The whole society is just going to keep going. It's there. It's going to be like no big deal because it's not that many people. Good
Yeah,
servant, why
man.
don't you
As
jump
I
on?
said,
Good servant thinks that the whole church is going to be raptured, man. Click that link, that
hey,
French link
hey,
in the
good
chat.
servant. Good servant. The link is in the chat, brother. Look, we just we want you to come on with us to have a friendly dialogue. Okay, we just want to have a friendly discussion with you. We're not going to be mean to you. Where we're not going to be like, well, I won't mention that guy's name because he asked me not to.
Right.
But we're going to be nice with you, man. So click that link and let's discuss the skip G's. Right there, you go. Anyway, mind of God, I'll throw it back to you. And hey, do we got the two-letter J? Are you still on here, man?
Yeah, I'm right here, man. What's up?
Sacramento.
Yeah. You have anything to throw into what we're saying, man?
No, man. I'm just sitting here listening.
It's basically an
All right, that
echo
sounds
chamber
cool.
at this point, man, because everything's so obvious. So it's kind of nice. There's no real. We know the Earth is flat now. It's great. Eric Dubé helped us with
Right,
that.
right. And as I said, man, I mean, hell, even a lot of these, truther channels, man, you got to be careful with some of them. And I'll tell you, just like with our friend, Russian Vids, which I like Russian Vids. I've been watching him for a good, I want to say probably 6 years.
Yeah.
But he goes off regarding the whole, UFO thing. Well, what are your thoughts on that, mind God?
Well, he posted one on his backup channel that really supported the fact that these UFOs are indeed the vehicles for salvation, but he didn't put on his main channel, which I thought was kind of curious. He kind of plays both sides. That's kind of what he does. Sometimes one video he'll say, they're fallen angels or demons, and then another one on RV exposing the Matrix. I don't know if you're subscribed to that channel, his smaller channel. He posted
I'm
a
sub to them
video.
all.
Yeah, he posted a video that said, that this narrative is the precursor to, and he brought it out in a movie which foreshadowed the rapture.
Was this recently?
Not too recent, but it's on my channel. But I can put the link in the chat if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah,
do.
if you can put that link down there, that'd be cool. I might want to check that out.
It's
too.
in a movie, dude, that foreshadowed the rapture. It's pretty cool, and I think the movie was called literally The Last Days. So I'll put the link right now in the chat.
Yeah, anyway, going back to what I was saying about the whole UFO thing, because a lot of these so-called truthers out here, man, they're out here talking about well, you see, they're planning just like what was it, Eddie Bravo, right? Which I like him, he's cool, but he said that well, you see, they want us all to believe in aliens so they can make a false alien invasion,
Right.
and to trick us, right? He said that UFOs, all of that is some type of Illuminati conspiracy. All of that stuff doesn't exist. My God, what are your thoughts on that?
That's what Eddie Bravo's pushing.
He said that in one of his videos that he did with oh, what's that cat? Joe Rogan, right? Just go on YouTube and look up Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo space is fake, and then you can watch that.
It doesn't surprise me. That's why I asked Eric Dubé that question, and hopefully he responds, because I have a feeling they're all going to say that. That it's all it's like Project Bluebeam. It's like they're aliens, and like if the people who were taken away were the evil people because they're abducted and stuff like that. So it doesn't surprise me. But the link that I just put in the chat, Russian Vids on his smaller channel, seems to gives us a good reference in a movie of the rapture occurring, and it actually has UFOs. So
Right. And as I said,
interesting.
going into these UFOs, you got guys out there who don't, of course, don't subscribe to that. But hey, look, they show you in these movies, you have, say, for an example, right, Independence Day,
Yeah.
War of the Worlds, and certain of these. If you notice that it's almost always in these movies, you always have America being the one who is being invaded by these so-called aliens. And also another thing as well, which might have God, you might know about this,
Mm-hmm.
but you have that movie, I believe it was the 60s that came out with its original one. It was the Planet of the Apes movie, right? The original movie. They had in the movie, there's a place called the Forbidden Zone, right?
Okay.
Which, if you watch it, it was actually America after it was destroyed by, nuclear war. And then, the storyline goes is, all that happened, but then apes, came up and now rule the world. Very good movie if you can watch that. But here's the kicker, though. The part of the scene where America was, destroyed, if you go to the scene selection, which is where you can pick what scene you want to watch, they name the scenes. And the name of the scene is named The Revelation.
Jeez, really?
So it is true. And it's funny because the apostles mentioned that scene, but they didn't know that if you go to the scene selection, the name of that exact scene is named The Revelation. So it's like, well, wait a second. Isn't that a little fishy? How there's a scene in a movie where America is wiped off the earth in a nuclear holocaust, but the name of the scene is named The Revelation, but there so happens to be a book named The Revelation that mentions America being taken out in the same way. So it just shows you that these
Yeah.
Hollywood movie producers, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and I just posted a video on my backup channel where the Wu-Tang Clan, and actually one of their raps, they're rapping about America being cremated, like Babylon being cremated. So how would they know that? This is like 20 years ago in their Wu-Tang Forever album, and it's all Bible prophecy, in that, and talking about the chosen ones and all this kind of stuff. So that's Job 12:16, the deceived and the deceiver. God is doing that through his left-hand side. It's amazing to witness.
Right, absolutely. Hey man, we're gonna find out, very soon, man. The people are gonna find out who actually had the truth out here. These
Yeah.
cats are out here, talking about, this or that or or whatever. But hey, these cats are gonna find out, man, who had the truth the whole time. Okay,
I got
you know
a
what I'm
question
saying?
for you,
Like
man.
you have.
Yeah, I got a
Go
question.
ahead.
Have you
Yeah.
prior to or just in general, where did the UFO thing come from for you? Did you get that from the Hebrews, or did you have understanding on that prior?
Let me give a little story behind that. All right, because it's actually very interesting. I believed in that for probably about 4 or 5 years now, but the real story behind how I came to that is I was doing some research on that because I of course was brought up with the belief that those are Satan and his angels that are in there, right? That's what I believe because that's what I was taught. But
Yeah.
when I started to hear the stories about how Great Millstone was saying that oh well the UFOs are the chariots of God, so I entertained it and I was like, oh, you know what, that could be true, that might not be true. So what I did is I wanted to inquire about that. So I was like, Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, show me what the answer is. Is it the chariots of the Lord or are those, demonic? So what happened was the very same night right? The same night that I wanted to inquire about this, I'm woken up in the morning by my younger brother, and he's like literally, shaken and very petrified, to put a $1 million word out there, or
Right.
terrified. So I asked him, what's going on? And he told me that I had a dream last night, and out of your window there was a massive UFO there. So I was like, oh shit, so this
Wow.
shows that this thing's serious. And that's where it comes from, my teaching of the UFOs. I did get that from Gray Millstone. However, there's a little story behind it, man. So what are your thoughts on that?
That's amazing. I the first time I heard of it was from Louis Farrakhan, that those UFOs are righteous, because he claims to have encounters with them, and that type of thing. And then it got further reaffirmed by Zabak and GMS and everybody. So that's why I want people to really think about what's going on with the Hebrew Israelites. It's not a joke. It's not, as much as it may seem like they're whatever, angry or whatever. Like, God has set that up. Whether you believe it's left hand side or right hand side, that's up for you to decide. But they're bringing out a lot of truth. I don't think the world would have known that without them in the last days. Not for me personally. So.
Right, absolutely. So, hey, the main goal at the end of the day is we just want to make it onto those chariots, right? We want to gain a seat on those chariots, right? Because that's the only way we're getting out of here, is
Yeah,
by getting
exactly.
a seat on those chariots. Hey, look, if you're over in America when those missiles hit, if you don't have a seat on those chariots, then your ass is grass. That's all we got to say on that.
Yeah, that's real fire too, for people not to keep saying that, but all of us, okay? We're not saying we're better than you, because we've been, me and ETT, I think ETT has been through the 501c3 church. We've been taught those same lies, that fire is, first of all, some people will just say it's not real. Others will say it's out of the body with the spirit. No, that's not what the Bible says. We could prove it. We've proven it recently, but that's real fire. So,
Hey, mind the God, you know what's funny? You'll get a kick out of this. But Pastor William Bell, what
yeah.
he teaches regarding you know, Babylon being destroyed, they teach that already happened, and that was talking about Jerusalem, but it's spiritually on fire even to this day, is what they're teaching on
What
that.
the hell, dude? That's crazy, dude. How do you get away with that, man? Really?
And just for the audience, so sorry to cut you off, man, but just for the audience who's listening, let me just say that one more time slowly so everyone can understand. Once the Corey did the debate with William Bell, they asked him a question at the end, so they didn't really get to elaborate much. But he was saying that basically Jerusalem is Babylon the Great, and it was already destroyed, in 70 AD, but it was spiritually set on fire, and it is still spiritually set on fire to this very day. So, mind God, I'll throw the mic back to you.
Oh my gosh. The elements are going to melt with fervent heat. Okay, let me get that verse.
Well, they say all that already happened.
Jeez. We just don't want you people to find out the hard way, man. And this horrifies me too. I'm not saying that, I get any privilege in this, but this doesn't sound like it's already happened. 2 Peter 3:10, but the day of the Lord will come like a thief, and then the heavens. So this is after the day of the Lord will come like a thief, and then the heavens will pass away with a roar, and the heavenly bodies will be burned up and dissolved, and the earth and the works that are done in it will be exposed.
Hey, my God, let me just put a link in the chat real quick for our brother Dasan. Hey, Dasan, we want to bring you on, man. Let me just put a fresh link there for you. Bear with me a moment.
That's the Truth of the Bible, DXD?
Yeah, that
Cool.
brother.
Yeah, cool.
All right, there's a fresh link for you there, man. But oh, my God, don't forget. Hey, remember, we're already living in the kingdom, right? Christ already returned, right? Christ is ruling over all nations today.
Right.
I can't even believe it. Somebody would believe something so ridiculous.
Well, the preterist guy had the nerve to even reply to my thing, and I just told him, man, just go away, dude. Like, the only people that understand the Bible are the elect or the hopeful elect. Those are the only two people that have a chance. So I just told him, just go away, dude. If you're pushing preterism now in 2021, I don't know what to say, man. That's horrifying.
But don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I really do want to have a discussion, with those guys. I think that would make a very interesting and entertaining discussion on how we can deal with it. Say, for an example, one of their points to bring up is it says, well, when Christ was speaking to the apostles, he's told them that, you know, some of you are standing here with me. You will be alive when
Right.
basically when the kingdom comes. And they use that to see it's like, okay, so see, that means it all happened. And another thing they do is like when you go to the scriptures that speak about the end of the world, which some of that was talking about 70 AD, but some of it was not talking about it. So what they do is they say, excuse me a second, they say, okay, well, if you're saying that some of it, you know, took place then, so that means that you have to, by logic, imply that all of it took place then.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. You have to jam a lot of the Bible into a small period of time, right? That's a problem. It's a big
Right,
problem.
right.
The gospel wouldn't have
And
been preached
that,
worldwide. None of that.
excuse that noise behind me. There's a pickup truck here. They're trying to tow away that vehicle, because apparently the lady was drunk or something driving it. So got some action going on behind me here, man. But it just shows you, you know, the state of these people here, man. Anyway, oh, and I think I see a chariot in the distance. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. But anyway, you know, going back to what I was saying, man, it's yeah, I mean, it's just boggles the mind how one could believe, right? Well, like say for another example, when you deal with the kingdom of heaven, it says what? That there should be no more pain, no more crying, for the former things have passed away. We
Right.
know damn well that hasn't happened yet, but yet they'll still insist that it has happened. But when
Yeah.
you ask them, well, how did it happen? Well, you see, I don't really know. You know what I'm saying?
We could disprove that because ETT and T-Mog were crying earlier today, off camera. You know, so I cry every day. I'm like, dude, this place is stupid. So that's
Yeah,
debunked
yeah.
just with that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, hell, you know, I sure know, you know, ETT has sorrow of heart almost every other day. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we damn well know that hasn't happened yet. So, wait a second. If that hasn't happened yet, then how the hell are we living in the kingdom? And nobody knows. It's just, well, then you guys don't agree with the scriptures. That's all they'll be able to say.
Dude, ask that guy at that pizza buffet at that video you sent me. Is he in the kingdom? He didn't like that pizza wasn't ready. You know, at that
Oh,
buffet.
man. Hey, what did you think about that video, man?
I could not stop laughing, dude. That's insane. In my mind, though, I was thinking about you getting like not getting a moon pie at a store and just flipping out, you know, and just going crazy. So for me, it'd be
Which,
Chipotle.
hey, man, that guy, if you want to look into that, man, his name is the Angry Grandpa. Just look him up on YouTube, man. They do a lot of good videos, man. But yeah, he's not alive anymore. He died like 4 years ago. But yeah, they got a whole lot of, you know, videos, man. That has to be one of the angriest people I've ever, you know, heard of.
Probably have a heart attack, dude, if he's that stressed over pizza. He wanted that. I think he wanted the thin, like a particular style of pizza, and
Yeah,
was
he said he wanted the deep dish, right? All of
the
that
deep
was
dish,
because of his deep dish pizza.
probably loaded with pepperoni and fat and garbage and oil and it's sick,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, man.
It's crazy, dude. People like beg to be like unhealthy. Like it's just crazy. Like just even in my own life too. Like we've literally been begging to be like enslaved or like it's just crazy, dude. The way the men like we're out of it now for the most part, but like a lot of people still are like that, dude. Like they'll go crazy over like a pizza or something or like a Popeyes sandwich or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, man. As I said, you know, all the people are on edge right now, you know, here in Babylon. Everybody is
Yeah.
having a bad time here, right? Hey, the time of partying is over, right? Because why? Because the Lord is now bringing this kingdom down. And just like going back to the name of the video, right? The American empire is clearly it's forever. You know what I'm saying? I cannot even fathom how one could even believe such.
Dude, that just cut out, man. We just hear you now though, clearly. It's kind of roboted.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Now we can. What did you say? You
Okay.
can't before you
Yeah,
can't
I was
fathom.
saying, yeah, I was saying I can't even fathom how one could even say that we're living in the kingdom today and that Christ is ruling over the earth. It's like, okay, so where can I go on earth to meet Christ at? And
Right.
nobody knows that. It just, well, then you guys don't agree with the scriptures. That's all they can say.
This is a good verse, man, that you quote a lot. Isaiah 24:11. There's crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. You can just tell, man, this place, the salt is gone, dude. Like No one really genuinely believes that this narrative is going to turn around. Stick
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fork in
As I
them, man.
said, man. I mean, hell, this is, I mean, look, man. Anytime I go out anywhere, I always, just without even thinking about it, put on that face, diaper, as mine of God calls it, without even thinking about it. You just automatically do it, right? Because now everyone has gotten used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Let's see.
crazy.
I don't know if sorry to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
All right, but yeah, I was gonna say, hey, Dasan, man, if you can, make sure you try to click that link. You might be having some problems trying to connect yourself, so I can understand that. There's no problem with that. But yeah, man, if you can get on, then that would be good. But hey, if you want to talk in the chat room, I mean, in the chat, in the comments, and you're welcome to talk there as well, and we'll address you in case you're not able to get on.
Dude, that dude sounds like a bit like Rock Upon Him when I watch one of his videos.
Yeah, he's a cool brother, man. He's a cool brother. I do videos with him once in a while, and we talk, outside of YouTube on voice chat. But yeah, that brother's pretty cool, man. But go ahead.
No, that's all I was gonna say. That's cool.
Yeah, man. But hey, going back to the whole preterism, man, because that's a good topic to have a conversation about. It's just it's unbelievable, how these cats are out there, and he's been teaching that, right? William Bell been teaching that for 40 years. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And my God, have you watched that debate yet? The Sakari debates William Bell?
No, I got to watch a few of their videos. I like actually listening to them. It's just sometimes stupid people come on that are like too stupid.
Hey, listen, my God, the next video you watch from Sakari, and I'd recommend you do this later. Look up on YouTube Sakari debates Pastor William Bell. Give that a watch. I have watched that 6 times already. I'm gonna have to go watch that a 7th time. It was just such a
what I need
discussion.
to watch, the best one for everybody out there. Go to the Deacon's page and watch Deacon and Facade versus End Times Teacher. That video you have to watch because it got funnier as it went on, and then there's so many gems and zingers in that. It was silly.
Hey, look, it's all for the entertainment of the masses, right? Hey, look, I'll dazzle you and I'll play tricks on your mind. You never know what type of trick ETT has up his sleeve. But yeah, those D-Coon and a sidekick Facade. Hey, look, I'd be down for a round 2. And look, man, if I was to meet those brothers in real life, ETT would buy both of those brothers a $5 Red Bull, right?
Yeah, they've taught us a lot. They've taught us a lot. I'll give them that without a doubt.
Yeah. Those cats are cool. Hey, look, I want to be on a chariot with D-Coon and Facade. I want to be on a chariot with those brothers.
But not with the other guy because he's a Levite, so they got their own chariots, So
yeah.
I think next time you might need to bring in reinforcements. Like maybe I need to be there because I don't want that to happen again. So if you bring T-Mog, then it's going to be a whole different vibe. You know what I'm saying? We will walk out with our heads held high kind of thing. So
yeah. And remember when you watch that debate, what they did is they would cut ETT off in the midst of his statements and would not allow you to respond. And as I said, that's going on because the scriptures tell you what, do not overspeak a man in the midst of his talk, nearly paraphrasing the text. But that's what those brothers did. Like when we dealt with the whole thing about the bride kidnapping, they got their ass beat on that. I brought up that it uses the same word in both of the texts. So by logical deduction, you would have to conclude that it means the same thing because they used the exact same word in both texts. And they didn't want to deal with that. It was just like, well, that's pretty weird. It's like, okay, but would you not agree that it uses the exact same word in both texts? You know what I'm saying? I'll throw it back to you.
Dude, you could have got them with the flat earth. I feel like you held back. You really could have just cut the legs underneath them and been like, hey, so you don't know what it is and you're teaching these spiritual things, but you don't even know what the shape of the earth is. Like, the whole thing, the whole party would have stopped. You know what I mean? Like, but they might have kicked you if you start doing that kind of stuff. But that was a problem.
Yeah, and you gotta be careful with those guys, man, because what they'll do is they'll mute you and kick you off the show. If you don't go along with what
100%.
they do. But hey, that's cool. I'll try to call in, in the future and try to get into another discussion with those brothers. But anyway, going back to what we were talking about, it's a good servant. I'm sure you're listening, man. Click that link. right? Well, what are you waiting for, man? Click that link and let's have a friendly discussion, because you commented at the top of the comments here. I'll read it again. You said, I'm ready to chat. So, hey, click that link, man. What
Yeah,
are you waiting
I'll
for?
drop. If he doesn't want me on it, I'll drop, and then whatever. It's not a big deal. Like, I'll listen if he's worried or whatever. But we come in peace.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, man. As I said, if that's cool, if you want to do a one-on-one with me on here, then that's cool, right? Mind of God will go off if that's what you want, but you got to let us know in the comment section, right? Hey, look, I can't read your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anyway,
Exactly.
but hey, man, it's just like, damn, man. I mean, when you think about all that's going on, like, oh, another good point to bring up, going against William Bell and what he was teaching. It's like, well, wait a second. If Christ is ruling over all nations, well, why is it okay to be a rainbow then? If the scriptures clearly say it, thou shalt surely die if you are doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
If Christ ruled for a day, this whole society would be flipped upside down overnight by tomorrow morning. Like, the whole thing would just be fixed, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, I don't understand. And then that guy that wrote to me, he thought that Christ being crucified was the end of his kingdom. And I thought that was just disgusting that somebody would say that. Like, how can somebody think when Christ is here and then crucified that that's him and his kingdom? That's crazy.
Right. Absolutely, man. As I said, man, it's unbelievable that, you have people out there who would actually diligently teach
Right.
that we're living in the kingdom today. It's just, I cannot even believe in that. And I'll give another example, right? Hey, these cats are getting their ass handed to them. When you deal
Somebody
with
call it
state,
Ambalam.
yeah, somebody called it Ambalam because Pastor William Bell, clearly got laid out. Anyway, a good point to bring up is when you deal with the law, it says what? That if a woman commits adultery, then they're to be put to death. It's like,
Right.
okay, so if we're in the kingdom of heaven, well, why do you have sites around promoting adultery then? And then when you go out and do that, nothing happens to you, right? You can go and keep doing it
Exactly.
again.
Right.
But wait, I forgot though, but we're living in Christ's kingdom today.
By the way, that actually proves what you were discussing with Ridge, the new covenant, which was a great topic, that in order for the kingdom to even exist, God's elect has to be made perfect, because then he would just destroy them because they'd go off, right? So in order,
Right.
the law cannot exist simultaneously with sin. So that's why, for people to understand, that's why we're waiting for that new covenant where God makes his people perfect, so they're no longer destroyed, for adultery and all that stuff. So that's the only way it will work. So
Right,
because the law is not
absolutely.
going to change, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Right, absolutely right. The scriptures say what? And we brought up the text. I believe that's Hebrews 13:8, but it says what? The eye of the Lord. Hey, look, Christ the same yesterday, today, and forever. Right. So the Lord and His laws, they don't change. Right. Man's views and opinions, that's what changes. But the law of the Most High is set in stone. Right. They do not change. The Lord was the same today as it was 1,000 years ago.
Agreed.
It does not change. So, going back to the covenant discussion, when we went to Jeremiah 31:31 on down,
Yeah.
it clearly proves that hasn't happened. Because first of all, if we're on here talking about Christ, then nobody knows the Most High, without, let me rephrase myself. It says what? No man shall teach his brother about the Lord. It's like, okay, so if we're all on here talking about the Lord, well, by logical deduction, that means that the text could not be fulfilled because it says that we would not be doing that.
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And it also says in Revelation that they'll have the name of God put in their mind, so they'll have access. That's why you don't need that fellowship in that way, where you're not teaching other people, because the name will be put into the elect's mind, to access the Father. So
Right. And as I said, man, it's like, hey, look, these cats out here, man, it's just, unbelievable, what these guys are out here teaching, man. You got nothing but a bunch of, hypocrites that are out here teaching, man. That's all these cats are, which again, don't get me wrong. There's any brother out there who's listening who is a preterist, then we would love to have a discussion with you.
Yeah.
And we can discuss why we might see differently. I would most certainly enjoy such a discussion. And I'm sure the mind of God would also like that discussion.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be fair, we'll be open minded, but then you have a that person, whoever how brave they are, they have a high wall to climb, so to speak, with us.
Yeah,
Certainly, yeah,
yeah. Because as I said, hey, look, let me even put it up on the screen here. Yeah, hey, look, we here at, on this page, right, IETT and Mind of God, hey, look, we keep it 100, right? We keep it real, just like with that coon, the Atlantis report, as he says, right, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, right? That's what we're giving out. We're just coming out with the raw, 100% fact. We're not going to give our opinion and how we feel about the matter, like a lot of these cats do. Even some of these Israelites, like Sakari, right, give their
right.
opinion. Now, we're not going to do that. We're going to deal with what the skip G's say. We're going to, whatever the scriptures say, we're going to go with that and we're going to believe it. Why? Because we believe in what it says. All right. Whatever the Most High says, we have to accept and believe in. Right. Hey, look, if the Bible has a law on how to deal with a man taking a woman by force, we're going to deal with that and we're going to teach what the text says. We're not going to be emotional and cherry code it so the masses of people will follow us.
Yeah,
We're going to teach what it is for what it is, because that's what the text says. I'll throw it back to Mind of God.
yeah, and I think those rules in the Bible actually make a lot of sense when you think about it. Again, we're not promoting that because those things, we don't need that. You should find a wife and do, you can do it the more traditional way, but in the rules now, there's a lot of people that do that and get away with it. First and foremost, that's not good. And then second, they have no responsibility for that, and then all that kind of stuff. And then in some cases, the punishments are so weak. It's like that's not good either. So the people should be upset about the modern day, laws, related to that, rape and stuff like that. So don't get mad at the Bible is what I'm trying to say. It's like it's the logic of God. It's the word of God.
Right,
I
right. And just like Lahar said when he was out there having the discussion with Brother Polite, he was like, hey, look, whatever the Most High says, we got to accept and believe it. And that's just what it is. No matter how controversial that might be, hey, look, whatever the scriptures say, we have to accept and we got to believe it. Right. And if we don't, well, then we're going off. That's why Christ said what? Says what? Blessed is the man who is not offended in me. Matthew 11:6. And that's a great one to bring out. Okay. Because these cats out here who claim to teach the Bible, man, there's certain parts of the text that if you bring out, they'll be like, what, the Bible says that? And I'll give a great example. Like when we brought out that the Bible speaks about the Lord killing little children, guys were like, it doesn't say that. Matter of fact, I was watching a debate that somebody did. I believe it
Jeez.
was a Sakari brother, and he was out there having a debate with a Christian pastor. And they brought up, do you know what the Bible says that God wants to kill kids? And he was like, oh, it doesn't say that. That's like so wicked. So they went to the text and showed it does. Matter of fact, another example.
Wow.
Sakari did a debate with a man who said that he is Christ. All right, so let me say it again. Sakari did a debate with a man who claimed that he himself is Christ. So what happened was they said, did you know that the Bible says to kill little children, that the Lord's going to do that? And the guy was like, and remember, he's Christ. He was like, oh, that's so terrible. The Bible doesn't say that. That's like such a satanic teaching. So they went to the text and shown that it does say that. Oh, and also remember this, that the guy, he says that he lived 1 billion years, right? He's been to the earth, 100 million times and 100 million different reincarnations. A
Nice.
damn crazy coon, man. Sounds like he needs to be in a damn mental asylum or something. But
Was he a ball
yeah, it just
earther or
shows
a
you.
flat earther? I'm assuming he was a ball earther, right?
Yeah, he is a
Yeah. Okay.
baller.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but it just shows you,
That's
man.
funny.
It's unbelievable.
I got a good one, man, in line of what we said about not having to minister to others. Revelation 22:4, and they shall see his face and his name shall be in their foreheads. And so somebody came by my channel, said that, after Christ rules for 1,000 years, then the serpent's going to be loosed or whatever. It's like, that doesn't make any sense, dude. Like that person who wrote that comment, and I made a video on it, which was like a waste of time. But how is that possible that you're in Christ's presence? And then after that 1,000 years is done, then Satan's going to come and deceive you more when it says right here, and they shall see his face and his name shall be in their foreheads. Okay. So like,
Yeah. As I said, man, that's utterly ridiculous, man. But hey, that's what you have out here. That's what you have. Is this guy's teaching nothing but a bunch of heresy and nonsense out.
Right. Dude, I got a really good verse, man. It's not really related, but I have to read it because I just came across it. Yeah,
Go
in
ahead.
Ecclesiasticus 21:15, if a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it. But as soon as one of no understanding heareth it, it displeaseth him, and he cast it behind his back. So don't, for
Right,
all of us, don't
absolutely.
do that. Like, be wise, come here and add on to what we're doing. We're not going to get any money or like rewards. We're putting our teaching out there. We, ETTA, we agree on certain things and disagree on some things. We put our teaching out there. If it's false, come tell us it's false, and we'll have a diplomatic discussion. If it's true, what it says here in Ecclesiasticus, go build on top of it. Okay, it's free, it's open. Just,
Right, absolutely. And as I said, hey, if someone hears what we're teaching and you don't agree, it's like, okay, well then we'll invite you on the show and let's have a civil discussion on why we might see differently, and we can reason together on why we might understand it differently. And the audience who is watching and listening, they can choose whatever side they would like to follow and believe in. Or I mean, hell, they could believe something totally different. But by having discussions on topics, that we don't see eye to eye on, that's how we learn. And that goes for all of us. That goes for the two people debating, right? They get to sharpen their sword up by debating someone else who sees differently. And also the audience, they get to be, one, entertained, which is how you keep them watching. And then two, they can consider the information and look into it. Right. So it's always, of course, good to have a discussion on topics that we all might see differently.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, we want the truth, right? If whatever the truth is, it's not going to change, So I'm open. I don't want to be wrong. There's no verse in the Bible that says if you're wrong, you're going to get rewarded, or tell lies or whatever. So
Right. But yeah, man, I think I'll gonna end the show up in a few minutes here.
yeah,
I am gonna be live tomorrow night. I do have a set topic that I should be doing. I'm gonna reach out to our brother. I want to bring Awakened Pennsylvanian on the show, so I'm gonna reach out to him and check to make sure he's gonna come on tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about the whole, teenage myth thing. But yeah, you're welcome to join us on the conversation if you're around.
okay, yeah, I enjoyed it, ETT. Thanks again, man. Peace.
All right, yeah, sounds good, man. So let me see real quick. So yeah, I wanted to bring brother Dasan on here. I'm not sure if you're still watching. Hey, brother, if you're still on there, can you let me know in the chat, because I know there's 5 people watching right now, but I can't tell who those are, of course. But yeah, man, I wanted to try to bring you on so we could talk. But I think you're having some problems with the connection, which is understandable. So I'll try to give you a call. Whenever I'm able to, we'll try to work something out then. But yeah, another thing that you can also try is to make sure you have like a Google account. All right, because I know there's certain aspects that you can use that'll help you, be able to come on here next time. All right, so yeah, man, all you need to join is internet. So I maybe had a hard time trying to find a place, which is understandable. That's cool. But yeah, man, Lord willing, you'll be able to come on the next show, or we'll be live tomorrow evening. I have a set show. We're going to be talking about the teenage myth. I'm going to have our brother Awakened Pennsylvanian on with me, right? So Lord willing, that all goes well. If he's still able to do the show with me tomorrow, and if not, then I'll have to schedule that for a later date. But Lord willing, he'll be around. I'm gonna let the show go for another minute because of my OCD. But yeah, just like Conspiracy Music Guru says, it's like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be the end of the show, right? This is gonna be the end of the show. I hope that was edifying. If anybody made this far into the video, I want you to put hashtag yo in the comment section. You can see it on the screen here. Our brother Dasan put up a comment and said, yo. All right, so hey, look, if you're watching this late into the video after the video has been uploaded, to put hashtag yo in the comment section down below. Let me just hit the comments real quick. Mighty God said, we got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Right, and that's true, right? We don't have anything to lose, right? We have everything to gain, right? I believe it was Apostle to Paul. He said, what? I'll count all things as a loss that I might gain Yahweh Shai, right? So we got to count all things as a loss so that we might win Yahweh Shai, right? And that's just, what we have to do in this truth. Let me see. We have a brother on there named Fresh and New. He said, yo, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Hey, maybe you can join the show in the future. You see, Mighty God said, Book of Sirach has many wise sayings. It's the Proverbs of the Apocrypha. And that's true, right? That's true, right? The Apocrypha is a deep book, right? You got cats out there like the Christian church, and they don't subscribe to the Apocrypha. That they say that's like some type of like satanic, false teaching. It's like, well, wait a second. And if you go to Matthew, the 23rd chapter, I believe it's verse 37, could be mistaken. But then if you go to 2nd Ezra chapter 1 and verse 30, it literally is the same thing. So Christ himself literally quoted from the Apocrypha. So that's undeniable proof that the Apocrypha is inspired, because the Savior himself, right, Jesus, or, as we call him, Yahweh Shai, he himself literally directly quoted from the Apocrypha. And again, you can read that on your own. Okay. This is what I have gathered thee as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, right? So he uses the exact same wording in the Apocrypha as Christ used in his dialogue. So by logical deduction, because the Apocrypha was written first, like 400 years before Christ, so by logical deduction, that has to imply that Christ quoted from the Apocrypha, right? I mean, very simple. But anyway, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the end of the show. Let me hit this last comment. Mighty God said, Mighty God has more lines than a Ziggurat's cake tree. Right? Hey, Mighty God has an insane flow. Right? I pretty much let Mighty God take the mic for a majority of the night. Say, hey, that brother, hey, go subscribe to Mighty God if you have not already. All right. But anyway, that's going to end the show off. Lord willing, tomorrow, everybody can join us. And of course, as always, will be a fresh link in the chat. So if anybody wants to join the conversation and come on and talk with us directly, you are certainly welcome to join on. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the show. I'm going to end off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, for this truth, and I'm going to say shalom.